fastest show in sports.
Nope, no way. No way did I ever think that I would ever be talking about something like this. Putting together AI, a bad football coach, a bad football team, the National Football League, trolling a bar on Fort Lauderdale Beach. What, put this all together in a story? Something's wrong here. This has got to be another zone. This has got to be the Phantom Zone somewhere. This has got to be another dimension. I really did not want to talk about this, but I think it bears discussion. Because to begin with, the Miami Dolphins franchise of this season is a complete and utter disastrous dumpster fire. There is nothing left there to salvage. No, there really isn't at this point. Some people will go up and say, well, wait a minute, we can get ready for next season. Maybe Tua will be better. Maybe Mike McDANIEL will get a second chance. Oh, wait, that's another one I've heard recently, where there are these geniuses in South Florida who think that, oh, well, maybe if they do well in the second half of the season, Mike McDANIEL and Tua will both earn a second chance come 2026. Are you insane? Look, Tua is going to be the quarterback for 2026 because they've got this massive, ridiculous salary cap hit, all this dead money that's going to show up on their books if they get rid of him. Not going to happen. Even if they trade him, not going to happen. McDANIEL getting a second chance after this mess? But not only just this mess, but what happened last season? And then let's put it all together with what happened now. There's even greater reason to wonder if this is a guy who should ever again be allowed anywhere close to a National Football League head coaching franchise. Matter of fact, I don't know if I'd want him as an assistant coach anywhere, knowing full well that this is the kind of individual that he is. He's a troller. He's just somebody who goes out there and decides that he's going to become a focal point of social media. This is the head coach of a National Football League franchise? Are you spitting me? Not even close. Now, and I will say that before we dive into this story, there have been a lot of people who have said, "Aw, this is cute. Come on. He's just having some fun. That's all he's doing." Bullshit. And I'll say it again. Bullshit. I come from a time in the National Football League when it was an honor to be part of that league, to be part of this league. And from a head coach's perspective, I came up when I was a kid with people like Don Shula, Bill Walsh, Bum Phillips, Bill Parcells, great coaches. I mean, look, they may not have been the nicest people in the world, but then again, that's not what they're hired to be. They're not hired to be nice guys. They're hired to win football games, and sometimes they could be gigantic pricks. But then again, if you got to know them a little bit, like I did with some of these coaches, you'll find out that they are absolutely the kind of people that you want to respect for what they do. But Mike McDANIEL has brought nothing but shame and ridicule on the title of head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And you have to wonder what's going on in the hierarchy, if you will, in the ivory tower of Stephen Ross and the Miami Dolphins management to think, this is the guy we want representing our franchise? Are you kidding? Let's dig in. It all started with a picture on social media. Now, I will admit that I was one of those people who saw this picture, and I stopped because I'm too used to looking at Photoshops and AIs and really great deep fakes. So I looked at this. In the background, there is Mike McDANIEL, supposedly head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And what he's doing is driving by a bar known as the Elbow Room, ELBO, Elbow Room in Fort Lauderdale. It is right on A1A, right on the beach. It is a legendary bar. I have to tell you that more times than I can count, I have been part of the Elbow Room crowd. I have crawled out of the Elbow Room at some time. I'm not going to get into that. No way do I want everybody knowing those stories. But he drives past the Elbow Room, according to this picture. And in the foreground, you'll see a guy who's in a Buffalo Bills shirt. That's because when the Buffalo Bills are in town, they take over the Elbow Room, basically, and make it their little command center. So here's after the game. After the Dolphins, a really bad football team, have beaten the Buffalo Bills, a good football team that now is starting to leave some question marks as to whether or not they're going to be a really good football team this season. The game is over. It's a couple of hours after the game. And here's Mike McDaniel in his car driving by the elbow room with the windows down. Basically, it comes down to doing nothing more than a troll. But I stopped myself. I said, wait a minute. I'm not sure. I really hesitated because some of the fakes are really good. But if you look, you'll see that through the windshield of that car, you can see the lights on the palm tree behind it. So that's a continuity. That told me that it just could be true. And that is a car that looks an awful lot like Mike McDaniel's car. And it looks just like him. And he's wearing a watch on his left wrist that is just like the kind of watch that he normally wears. So, okay, there was some question. Then comes the video. Because you know that everything eventually gets captured on video. And here it is. Same corner, same spot. That's downtown. There's the trees in the background. And there he is. He's making a left-hand turn to go north on A1A, which is the beach road there. Now, McDaniel lives in the area. So it's not as if it really could have been an oddity, because it could indeed be Mike McDaniel. Okay, now we have a picture. Now we have the video. So we have all the evidence that we need that this is Mike McDaniel, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, trolling a Buffalo Bills bar after the game where the Miami Dolphins won. And let's remember something now. This is not a good Miami Dolphins team. I mean, if he's out there gloating and trolling a franchise, the fans rather, I would think that you would want to be a really good team, but you're not at all. And you got lucky against the Bills on this Sunday. So here we have a picture and we have a video. Okay, I pointed out to some friends of mine on social media on Sunday. Matter of fact, no, it was on Monday morning, where I said, if I was still doing the Dolphins press conferences, I would ask about this. They said, no, you can't ask about this. You can't do that. It's not the right thing to do. But I said, nope, if I was there, simply because of what's going on in this, I would have to ask the question at least. And right at the beginning of the press conference, what did somebody do? By the way, I was told don't do it. It's the wrong thing to do. Guess what? Somebody decided to ask the question.
I know AI is also getting pretty good, but there's a picture of you strolling down strolling down the elbow room, I guess near A1A. Looks like your car, looks like you, looks like your watch. Is that AI or is that real?
Well, that's why I like the good old days, the throwbacks of yore where you could trust, the internet and the images, because, it is pretty detailed. That I do live in that area, but, I mean, AI, right?
So that doesn't answer the question.
Well, I mean...
So are you confirming or denying?
I mean, I live in that area. AI is real. That's what I got for you.
Okay.
One of the things that stood out to me about the game was that...
No, for the record, I did not answer it. That's the punchline of the humor.
Okay, let's see if we can figure out the humor in all this, because I really didn't see it. Maybe I missed something, but I'm a guy who actually enjoys good humor. That certainly wasn't it. Holy spit in the morning. Here is the head coach of a National Football League franchise, one of the very few NFL franchises in the world, considered by many to be one of, if not the top sports league in the world. And of course, the people at FIFA would argue about that immensely. But let's just leave it at that the National Football League is that kind of a league. And here we have a guy who is a really bad head coach, who's having a terrible season, who is right on the edge of being fired, and who should have been fired at least once, maybe twice, maybe three times. This is the kind of guy that he's done so many things wrong with this franchise. If you fire him once, you want to fire him again, just to make sure that he doesn't come back and hurt your franchise. But here's a guy who's in a tough season. And what does he do after the game? He's not taking film study. He's not talking to his assistant coaches. He's not dealing with anything else. Okay, the guy's going home. I'll give him that. And if he does live in the area, that's a normal way to go down to that region. That's off what's called Las Olas Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. And then it's a beach road that goes over to A1A. And then he goes north on A1A, ostensibly, I guess, to go to his home. But he's got the window rolled down. It's what he's doing. He's trolling. He's doing this for a gag. What an infantile numbskull. What is this? Somebody with an IQ of 9? What's he going to do next? Pull out his cell phone and start sending selfies to everybody? Look what I was doing down at the elbow room, where I was down here trolling the Buffalo Bills fans. Ha, ha, ha. Aren't I really cool and neat? What the hell are you thinking, man? If you're going to go home, not a problem. Roll up the window. You don't have to leave the window open. You don't have to sit there and basically let everybody see you. But he did that specifically. This is a guy who's not serious about being a head coach. He's not serious about the problems his team is having. And yeah, after the game against the Buffalo Bills, the players were all celebrating. Everybody is happy because they won a third game. They won another game. Ooh, we got a chance to be... No, you don't have a chance to be in the playoffs. Stop right there. Okay, you got no chance. It's over. It's done. It's complete. You're not going to win every game from here on out. You're not going to go to the playoffs. The team sucks, and it's a bad season. And instead of being more concerned about the team, okay, some people are going to go, well, he's out there blowing off some steam. Roll up the window. You don't have to sit there and preen for the people on the other side because you know you're going to be identified. You know that social media is going to catch you. You're not a stupid man. You're a foolish man to begin with. And you're an infantile brain on top of everything else because you think about, hey, just like 6-year-olds, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get my selfie taken. That's exactly what you're thinking here. This is not a serious man. This is not a guy who deserves to be a head coach in the National Football League. Matter of fact, he's that guy who doesn't deserve to be an assistant coach in the National Football League. He has shown that this is all giggles and grins to him. Maybe he's just taking time out now because he knows his time is short. He's going to be on the outs anyway. He's going to be looking for a job next year. Hey, may as well have some fun doing it. That's not what this is all about. I mean, you have people out there who are spending tons of money to come see this team. And so far, they've come to see a really shit team for the year. And you're the guy that's in charge. The buck stops with you. So everybody out there who's saying, and I have heard this, and I get it. I knew this was going to happen. When it was identified and when it was proven to be him, which, of course, he won't admit that it's him, but everybody knows it's him because we got 2 eyes. We can see. And if he's sitting up at a press conference, all he's got to do is say, come on, guys, that's not me. Everybody knows that's not me. But he doesn't want to do that because then he's caught in a lie because he knows it's him. But if this is a guy who has this kind of a cavalier attitude with a team that is in such dire straits, I want him out. I want him out now. I mean, and for all those saying, it's cute, it was really nice, he was just out there having some fun, Ed. Come on, big guy. Let's go ahead and enjoy some good times here. No, I'm sorry. It doesn't track because you got to be serious. You got to be serious about what you do, and obviously McDANIEL's not serious about what he does. Look, he doesn't have the respect of almost anybody in that locker room. Not even some of the assistant coaches respect this guy. So if the players and the assistant coaches don't respect him, why should anybody else? And why should anybody else? Why should this owner, Stephen Ross, this so-called intelligent, brilliant, multi-billionaire, why should he let this guy continue to sully the reputation of the franchise that he owns? And not only that, the fans out there who deserve a lot better than this clown. I mean, all you got to do next time is, I tell you what, Mike, for next game, put a big red nose on your pop one right there, and go out in the field and coach a game like that. Come on, it's all for good times. It's all for fun. And maybe after then, when you go on the road trip somewhere to your next event, hey, you're in Spain next time. Maybe you can go out on the streets of Spain somewhere, and you can go ahead and troll some fans while you're there. And you can be the fun guy. Bullshit! Do your job. Your job is head coach of the National Football League. It is a rare opportunity. You are one of the few individuals who has been granted an opportunity to be part of something legendary, to do something that most people will never get a chance to do. And what are you doing? Out trolling guys and gals at a bar because you beat their team? That's what you think being a head coach in the National Football League is? Wipe the hands of this guy. Complete. If he wasn't out before, he's out now. He gets no second chance next year. He doesn't get a chance to come back. He doesn't get a chance to screw up another season because you're going to have a new general manager who's going to walk in the door anyway, and that GM's not going to want a lame duck coach. He's going to bring in whoever he wants. That's going to be somebody new. So he knows he's on the outs. He knows he's history. He knows his bags are going to be packed. And if he's living on the beach somewhere, you better go ahead and think about renting that place out before the year ends, because you're in season right now. It'd be a good time to rent it out and maybe go ahead and live at a Best Western hotel somewhere for a while, because you're not going to be here long, and you shouldn't be. You haven't earned it. You haven't earned it with this stunt, and you haven't earned it with the fans by getting their respect. No respect. Rodney Dangerfield got no respect. You get no respect at all, my boy, because you haven't earned it. And as far as this stunt is concerned, you don't deserve it. You're out. Bye.
Ed Berliner, the fastest show in sports.